Thought you knew everything there was to know about rice? I'm going against the grain and showing you 16 surprising hacks. There's a lot more to this simple grain than just steaming it and putting some stir fry on top. If you're somebody who, when you cook rice, it always turns out gummy or you burn the bottom of your pan, this first method is for you. You can cook perfect rice in the oven. I'm gonna give you a 2-for-1 special and show you French onion rice, but you can do this with any recipe. You can just do it with plain rice if you want. I have caramelized some onions in this pot. To that, I'm gonna add in a can of French onion soup and a can of beef broth. So I've got roughly 2.5 cups or so of liquid. To that, I'm gonna go 1.5 cups of rice. I'm going straight in with the rice. Yes, sometimes I rinse it and sometimes I don't. Give it a stir. Then I'm gonna top it with a stick of butter. Of course, you don't have to use this much butter, but it does make it quite delicious. Then you just cover it and put it in the oven. The main difference between cooking it like this and cooking it on the stove is that it does take longer, but you don't have to babysit it. I also like this method because I think it helps you resist the temptation of opening and stirring your rice, which is what causes it to be gummy and sticky. Just trust the process. You wanna know what smells good? This right here. It has absorbed all the liquid and look how perfect it's cooked. Flavorful and fluffy. No gummy rice here, nothing stuck together. You just fluff it with a fork. Perfect every time. I've been wanting to do this one for a while. This hack involves using your leftover rice to turn it into a whole other meal. We are going to do fried rice cakes with spicy tuna on top. Whenever I cook rice at home, I always cook twice as much as I need because my future self thanks me. Whether I'm doing something like this or just simply making fried rice, it's always good to have some leftover rice. It freezes perfectly. For this one in particular, I've got my cooked rice that I have mashed into a pan and then popped it in the freezer. Then you can turn it out and cut it into little squares. These are gonna be our little vessel to put some spicy tuna on. This is kind of an easy way to do a little sushi alternative at home. Okay, and then we just fry it. If your rice has a little too much moisture, you can always coat it lightly in flour or cornstarch before doing this. You're just gonna place them down in the hot oil. They cook about 5 minutes, about 3 minutes on the first side and 1 to 2 minutes on the other side. I'm just using vegetable oil, but you can use whatever oil you want. Once they're done, drain them on some paper towels and sprinkle with a little salt. You know I like that sound. Then you can top it however you like your sushi. I like a spicy tuna situation, so this is just some fresh tuna. You gotta get the good stuff. Chop it up, and then with some little Kewpie mayonnaise, a little soy sauce, a little sriracha. So then you've got this like soft kind of cold mixture on the warm and crunchy rice cakes. And then I'm gonna go jalapeno or serrano. You could also do avocado here, maybe a little green onion. Have you ever done this with your leftover rice? Mmm. That's some good stuff right there. The perfect thing to do with leftover rice. That's a 12 out of 10 perfect bite. This next one is more of a tip than a hack, but if you cannot get a perfect pot of rice right, I've got you. The trick is toasting your grains before you cook them. We know the classic method for cooking a cup of rice is bring your water to a boil, then stir in the rice. No, I disagree. The most foolproof way is to toast your rice first in your fat. This can be oil, it can be bacon fat, it can be butter. Get that melting. Most will argue that rinsing your rice is the only way to go, so we're gonna do that. But when you do wash your rice, don't discard the water. I'll show you why later. Remember, this is more about the method and not the recipe. You can do the same method no matter how much rice you're cooking. Once your fat is melted, go in with the rice. And the key is you wanna make sure each grain is coated in the fat. That way when it cooks, it stays separated. It also gives it better flavor because the rice becomes a little more fragrant and it just gives you a more depth of flavor in your rice. You'll be able to tell when each grain is coated in the fat because it goes from being super opaque to a little more translucent. You can also add flavorings at this point. You can do some chopped onion, some garlic here, or just go ahead and add in your seasonings. I like to salt it at this point also. You do the same proportions of 2 parts liquid to 1 part rice. Once it's all toasted, add in the liquid. Now it follows the standard rice procedure. Bring it to a boil, reduce it to a simmer, cover, and let it cook. That is perfect rice. Take your fork, give it a little fluff. When it comes to cooking rice in a pot, this is the only way to do it. Look at that. Perfect every time. One way to prevent gummy rice is with a dish towel. When your rice is done cooking, you don't want the condensation to drip back in, causing your rice to become super wet. So you just put a dish towel on top and let it stand like that. Any condensation is gonna drip on the towel and not back into the rice. Disclaimer, make sure you turn your eye off first. Did you know you can cook your rice in the microwave? Yes, you can. I'm not talking about the microwave pouches. We are talking about uncooked rice that you can cook perfectly in the microwave. Start with your rice that you have rinsed, add in the water. Just like pasta, you want to season your rice in the beginning because it's the only chance that rice has to absorb the flavor. And optional butter. Is it really optional? This goes into the microwave for 8 minutes, then we cover it with plastic and go another 4 minutes. And then you let it sit covered for 6 minutes on the counter. You can already tell it looks pretty perfect. Take a fork and just fluff your rice. Kind of impressed with this one. I wasn't sure it was going to turn out this perfect. The grains are separated. Whenever you cook rice, you just don't want them to all be stuck together. You want to be able to see separate fluffy grains. I'm going to need to teach my college daughter this one. It's a good one. You can use rice to make thick and creamy soups. Let's say you make a brothy soup, but you want it to feel or a little more indulgent, but maybe you don't want to add dairy. Rice is the trick. It just takes a little handful, about 1/3 cup, drop it into your soup, and as you stir, the starches will release from the rice grains and make this a creamier soup. I'm using arborio rice for this because it is starchier. You can also do a sushi rice here, but the idea is that this breaks down, so you do want to keep stirring it so that that rice does break down. You're not looking for a vegetable rice soup, but you just want just enough to kind of thicken. This is 1/3 cup. And then I'm just going to cook that until it works its magic. Lots of stirring activates the creamy starch. Look at that. It doesn't look like a thin broth soup anymore. Of course, you're going to get some flecks of rice in there. If you don't want to see the rice at all, you can always just puree it in a blender and then stir it right in. First, you can see straight through the broth. You'll see the thickness in the broth. And it just makes the whole soup experience a little more filling. And it doesn't change the flavor. You got takeout, you want to reheat your leftover rice, this is the best way to do it. I learned this from Emily on TikTok, and I just think it's really smart. So you've got your leftover cold rice, add it to a microwave safe bowl. See how hard it is. Adding just 1 ice cube and then covering it with parchment paper or a napkin is just going to help the rice re-steam. It's not going to cook in liquid. You don't want to add a bunch of water, or then it's going to overcook and get mushy. Cover it like that and then just pop it in the microwave. Look at this. Steamy, but the ice cube is still there because it got just hot enough. See, it just re-steams it. An ice cube is the trick to reheating refrigerated leftover rice. It works. I told you I always make double the rice when I cook rice, and that's because I freeze the rest. Here's the best way to do it. I'm telling you, sometimes those microwave pouches, A, can be weird, and B, it's about quadruple the cost of what that amount of rice cost. Maybe 10 times. You can make your own reheatable cooked rice. Take your leftover rice, spin it into a Ziploc bag, and then flatten it in your Ziploc bag. You could do this in smaller bags also. Now, this would be like my family size portion, which you can freeze and reheat the whole thing at once, or you can create single size portions. You really want to do this when the rice is cooled completely, for demonstration purposes only. Then you can use your hand and go like that, or you can use a spatula, create individual size portions. Then you want to freeze it flat. When the time comes, you just break off the amount you want to reheat. Pop this right into your bowl and into the microwave. No ice cube needed here, because as you reheat frozen rice, it steams itself. And that cost you about 10 cents. Leftover rice turned into one of my favorite foods of all time, arancini. What is arancini? You should know this by now. Fried rice balls. So many flavor combinations you can make with these. In this bowl, I've got some leftover rice that I have mixed with a meat sauce, like just a tomato meat sauce. And it's a good thing to do, not only if you have leftover rice, but if you have leftover spaghetti sauce. So I've got rice, sausage, tomato sauce, and cheese. This has mozzarella and Parmesan cheese in here. You can mix it, roll it up, and then let it chill, or just chill your mixture and then roll it up. You can turn these into spring appetizers also. You can do rice with little peas in there, asparagus. You could just do plain rice and cheese. I do think cheese is kind of essential, and you'll see why. You don't have to do this, but I'm telling you, if you want an extra treat, do this. Take a little thing of mozzarella, place it in the center, and then wrap the rice around it. There's also cheese in the rice mixture, so this is just a bonus. So roll up your rice balls. The starch from the rice is gonna hold all this together, and the cheese kind of helps act as a bonus glue. I like kind of appetizer size. I have seen them where you can do a complete dinner size arancini, then do the standard breading process. Again, you can make all these ahead of time. You can keep these in your fridge or your freezer until you're ready to cook. Just a really light coating of flour, dust off the extra into the egg, and then breadcrumbs. See, I like them the size of a good size meatball. After all your arancini are ready, I like to pop them in the freezer for about 15 minutes before frying. Heat up some oil. You can air fry these if you want, but I'm going all out today. Everything we know is cooked inside, so we just need it to heat through and get crispy on the outside. Is that not a thing of beauty? Arancini is the perfect example of the superpower of rice. It just doesn't get any better than that. So light and crispy on the outside, but gooey on the inside. If you don't do this next time you have leftover rice, I'm gonna be mad at you. Don't bring me that martini. And now, rice is for more than just cooking. There are several mind-blowing life hacks that start with rice. All you need is rice and a pair of socks, and you can make the perfect heating and cooling packs. When I saw this one, I was like, now that is just daggum smart. You know, if you've got a headache, maybe a little tummy ache, maybe a neck ache, it's gonna be the cure for that. P.S. Just took these out of the package. Fresh, clean socks to start. Don't need y'all up in my comment section. And then you fill it with rice. This would make a fun gift also. You need to leave room at the top so that you can tie the sock. And because we love aromatherapy, you can add in a couple drops of your favorite essential oil. So depending on what you're gonna use it for. Lavender is always nice for relaxation. Tie it up. Can also put the essential oil drops just on the outside. Now, pop it in the freezer for a cold ice pack, which is how I like to go to sleep. And it also works as a heat pack. Now, you gotta be careful with this one. I have seen somebody completely burn the rice. Just fill it up, same way, pop it in the microwave, 1 to 2 minutes. Hot potato, hot potato. Oh, it smells good. No more than 2 minutes, flip it every 30 to 40 seconds. Y'all have worked me to death. Oh, that tastes so good. Should have done this last because I'm about to go to bed. Oh my God, it really does hold the heat. This is a good mom cure right here. I say get some cuter socks and make this a real thing. Now the cold one, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's how to get rid of your headache. And next, I'm showing you how to use rice to lock in moisture, just like in the salt shaker. A little over the shoulder for good luck. Rice is so good for absorbing excess moisture. I know you have seen this one before. Adding grains of rice to your salt shaker helps keep the salt where it flows. If you live in a place that has too much humidity, you might find that your salt shaker is full of clumps like this. Adding a few grains of rice to your salt shaker keeps it nice and dry. You've definitely seen this one if you've gone to a restaurant at the beach. Speaking of soaking up excess moisture, sometimes in your house you might have some damp spaces down in the basement. Adding some jars with rice can help absorb some of that extra. It can also keep your house from smelling musty. So add some grains of rice to a jar, a bowl, whatever vessel you want to use. The rice is good for just the moisture, but you want to keep that musty smell out of there. So you can always add some scent beads like you get for your laundry. Mix those in with the rice. And then just to keep, your pets away from this or anything, you can cover it with a little cloth and a lid. If you don't have any animals or small children to worry about, you can just leave it open, maybe set it behind the toilet or in a corner of the room. You can also break out those essential oils again. And then you've got your own built-in air freshener. Smart. Did you know this one? Rice to ripen. Yes, you can. Sometimes you have to buy your produce a little underripe, but you want to try to speed that process along. We know the trick about putting it in a paper bag with an apple, but you can also just cover it with rice. It traps the chemical in there that's going to help it ripen faster. Yesterday I had 2 tomatoes that were just underripe. One is in the rice and the other one's right here. Let's see if there's a difference. You want to give yourself at least 24 hours for this. It's been about 36 hours. It does work. You may not be able to see the difference from there, but I promise you can feel it. This is a little softer than our underripe hard. You might have to trust me on this one, but trust me, it works. Here's another thing rice can do. It is a great abrasive when it comes to scrubbing dirty pots and pans. If you've got some gunk left on your dishes that just won't come off with regular water, things stuck on the sides, add in a little rice with your soapy water. Shake it up and let it do its thing. Allowing those grains of rice to just swish along the sides really cleans it. Strain it out. Clean jar. You're welcome. Do not throw out your rice water. If you have washed your rice, save that water because it's good for a few things. Or so they say. Rice water can help clean glass streak-free. Let's see. They also say you can wash your hair with this. It helps with regrowth for all my fellow perimenopause moms. This sounds counterintuitive to me because I just feel like this starchy liquid is going to make cloudy glass. Here's a dirty mirror. Well, I'll be. It gets the layer of gunk off, I will say that. It works. Where are all my crafty friends at? Leftover rice makes the perfect glue. I guess if you're worried about toxic chemicals, this one might be for you. Take leftover cooked rice, pretty much equal parts rice and water. You could also use that leftover rice water here. Add it to a blender and let it go. And we have glue. I don't know if they'll allow this kind on the school supply list, but I can already tell you it's gonna make for some sticky glue. No odor. Let's see if it works. Looks like glue, feels like glue. Let's finish my school project. Just like I remember. I can tell you this is sticky. Who knew? Who knew? This is a great one to try out with your kids. I mean, y'all, look at this. I mean, that is stuck like glue. It's not coming off. That is a powerful glue. A good one to do with your kids right there. If you ask me, we've nailed it. That is 16 hacks, snacks, and crafts that go against the grain when it comes to rice. Mission accomplished. Thought you knew everything there was to know about rice? There's no way he's gonna be able to use that.